Pull up a chair. Why don't we talk about secrets and random tips for the new Crota's End raid? Some of these you might know, others you might not. I got timestamps below, feel free to skip around. First up, how to unlock the exotic catalyst for the new Necrochasm exotic auto rifle, which you can get from the raid. If you don't have the gun yet, good news, I'll talk about that in a minute. There are two parts to getting the catalyst. Here is part one. At the end of the bridge encounter, before you move on to the Shrieker hallway, take a quick right and you should see a glowing green plate in the floor. Have somebody equip the Necrochasm and stand on that plate, and you should get text that says Crota's minions appear and a bunch of hive swords will drop. You now have about a minute and a half to kill a lot of gatekeepers, so everybody get moving. There should only be two on the end side of the bridge, so when they're dead, turn around and start swinging back to the original side of the bridge and kill all the hive, gatekeepers, and all. When that side is clear, take the big green portal, which should take you back to the other side of the bridge, again where you can kill a few more hive before time runs out. If you kill them all before time runs out, you'll get a message telling you Crota's minions have been defeated. GG, you're done with part one. Part two happens in Crota's throne room. I would recommend you do this after beating the Ute encounter and before fighting Crota. On the bottom floor of the right side tower by the Oversoul, there should be another green glowing circle. Again, have one person put on the Necrochasm and go stand in that circle, and now you've got another beat all the hive time trial. This one is a little bit harder, but the good news is with both part two and part one, you have unlimited tries, so if at any point you fail, you can just try again. Unlike before though, where a bunch of swords drop immediately, this time you've got to earn your hive swords by taking them from 3 sword bearers, so get ready for that. Hive are going to be all over the throne room, including the balcony rooms up above the green crystal room. One will be on spawn, you got more in the boomer towers, really annoying. You'll also have thrall and never-ending wizards, but you really just need to make sure you kill all the gatekeepers before time runs out. Quick tip, unlike basically every other hive sword in Crota's End, during both time trials you can drop the sword and then pick them back up without penalty. So with that in mind, maybe throw on something like tractor cannon to give the gatekeeper a quick boop before re-picking up the sword and cramming it right up his cram hole. And again, if you fail either time, no worries, just do it again. You can keep doing this until you beat the time trial for both part 1 and part 2. Do both and you get the exotic catalyst. GG. Alright, on the subject of the Necrochasm, let's talk about Oversoul Essence and how to get the gun if you didn't get it from Contest Mode Weekend. After clearing the raid, which I have a guide on by the way, interact with the sword, aka the vendor thingy, after beating Crota to pick up the quest to get the Necrochasm. Do not forget to do that if you don't have the gun. You'll need to acquire 20 Oversoul Essence in order to get the gun, and if you already have the Necrochasm and now the exotic catalyst, you will need, I think, 35 Oversoul to finish the catalyst. Oversoul Essence can be acquired one of two ways. One, by completing certain challenges in your Triumph section, and two, random drops from completing raid encounters. Try to do as many of the challenges as you can because, hey, free Oversoul drops. But if you really want to just grind the hell out of it right now, you could technically just grind out the Ute encounter. I've one-phased both Crota and Ute now after contest mode is over. Crota is technically quicker by a hair, but one-phasing Ute is far easier in my opinion. It'll only take you about 3-ish minutes with a good one-phase, and again, if you want to, you can just grind that encounter over and over to farm Oversoul and get the gun or finish the catalyst. You can also get easy spoils of conquest from repeat encounter farming if you're into that. I can make a detailed farm guide if y'all want, just let me know, but really you can get it done with just well-rolled linear fusion rifles and one divinity. Easy. Alright, back on the secret train. Now we're going to cover how to get an extra weapon drop at the end of your raid run that is guaranteed to be a deep sight weapon. At the very beginning of the raid, look all the way across the Hellmouth for 3 pairs of thrall statues right next to each other. There should be one up to your left around here-ish, one to your middle over around here, and then one off to your right down around here. Take note of which hive statue in each pair is glowing, either the one on the left or the one on the right. Going from each pair left to right, right down, or just remember the order. So for this particular example I'm showing you right now, this would be left, left, and then right. With that info in mind, we are now looking for 3 particular locations throughout the raid where you will activate one of 2 hive thrall statues. The first location is before starting the bridge encounter. On the side of the bridge where you start, facing the far side of the bridge, one statue is down way off to the left, which I will show you now. And the other is down way off to the right, the route I will show you right now. Whatever statue was glowing back in the first group in the Hellmouth is the one that should be activated here. In this example, we need to activate the left one, so I just walk up and activate the left one here, done. You'll know you did it right if the game tells you a choice echoes into the future. The second location is right after the bridge encounter. Again, facing the same direction, so facing the upcoming Shrieker hallway, we have two more statues, one off to the far left, shown here, and one off to the far right, shown here. Whichever statue was glowing back in the second group in the Hellmouth is the one that should be activated here. In this example, we got to do the left one, so I just activate the left one and done. The third and final location is in Crota's throne room. The statues are up above you on the balcony. Facing the Oversoul, the left statue is back behind you over your left shoulder, and the right statue is back behind you over your right shoulder. In the Hellmouth, the third group of statues shows the right one was glowing, so I activate the right one here, and bam, done. You get a message saying a balance is reached. To the victor go the final spoils, which means you did it all correctly. Now, after you kill Crota, you'll get an extra weapon drop, which is guaranteed to be a deep sight weapon, but that can only be done once per week per account. But hey, free loot. Next topic, all hidden chest locations, and this one is kind of tricky. Hidden chest number 1 is in the Lantern encounter. Taking a look at the map of the old Lantern encounter from D1, it's pretty much the same story. Each star on the map shows the location of a small, kinda hidden room, one of which could contain hidden chest number 1. At the time of me writing today's video, the first week of the raid being live, the hidden chest is in the 5th room, the one right here. It's kinda likely though that the location of hidden chest number 1 will change each week, and if that's the case, I'll try to confirm that down in the pinned comment. Hidden chest number 2 is at the end of the Shrieker hallway encounter. Like D1, there's a big door at the very end of the hallway that starts closing after you kill the second Shrieker. Not only do you have to get into this room before the door completely closes, but you also have to make sure that somebody preserves the Chalice of Light in the little podium right near the big hole in the floor leading to Ute. If you make it into that room but no one preserves the chalice, no loot for you. You've got to do anything you can to make sure you move quick and get to that door before it closes. Gonna recommend either a Thunder Crash Titan or any Strand class and a grapple grenade or an Eager Edge sword. If you deposit the chalice and get just one guardian in the room before the door closes, it'll open back up and everyone can go in and get the loot. Here's an extra tip for hidden chest number 2, by the way. If you F up and either the door closes before you get there, or in this great example where a very good buddy of mine who will remain nameless zoomed into the hidden room while holding the chalice, it's actually no big deal. Simply have everyone die before moving on to Ute and you'll reload the hallway encounter. Now you have another opportunity to get it done. GG. Hidden chest number 3 is currently a mystery to the entire community because literally no one knows where it is. How do we even know there is a third chest? Well, if you hover over the Spoils of Conquest Triumph, it mentions a third hidden loot chest. Again, I've looked all over Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, the forums, and the raid, and at the time of me writing this, as far as I know, no one has found chest number 3. Either one of two things is true. Either there's a third chest no one has found yet, or 2, maybe you need to loot one of the other randomly spawned chests in the Lantern encounter mentioned earlier. Unsure, but when I do find out, I will update the pinned comment. And now a few more quick tips for you. During the Lantern encounter, a lot of people are tempted to Eager Edge sword skate through to go a little bit quicker. It's definitely not a bad idea, but it can occasionally get you killed, and also not everybody has an Eager Edge sword. I've actually put away the Eager Edge and found some success with the Geodetic HSM, aka We Have Eager Edge at Home. The origin trait on that weapon allows for further lunge range with your sword, and unlike Eager Edge, you can proc it repeatedly without a cooldown. Granted, it definitely won't take you as far as Eager Edge, but again, sometimes that can get you into trouble in the Lantern encounter, and not everybody has Eager Edge. If you're a new D2 player who maybe doesn't have a crafted Eager sword yet, try and get your hands on a Geodetic and try that for the Lantern encounter. Again, I've found it to be pretty consistent. Here's a trick for the bridge encounter. Shout out to Nodnaz on this one. Strand Warlocks with the Wanderer and a grapple grenade can literally cross the bridge whenever they want without a sword or the chalice. Just throw a tangle really high and then catch a ride. If If you're wondering how to kill the Gatekeeper Knight on the other end of the bridge without a sword, no problem, apparently. You can freeze them with something like Cryosthesia and then literally just push them off the cliff. Fun. Here's 2 tips for dealing with Crota that might make the fight a little bit easier. Tip number 1, I found that fighting Crota on the bridge sections closer to the Oversoul to be more annoying due to the potential boomer interference. It is very easy to bait Crota all the way back to the opposite side of the Oversoul where you are less likely to be interrupted. Just have the entire group run into the room where you spawn and he'll get curious and follow you over there. Tip number 2, when damage time comes, have your friendly neighborhood warlock, if they can, try to drop the Radiant Well on top of Crota's body from the air. Try to do that right after you've broken his shields. That right there can help you deal with an annoying problem that a lot of teams know all too well, the problem of Crota ground pounding your team and accidentally breaking your Radiant Well. If you tag his body with the Radiant Well from the air, the Warlock Radiant Sword will hover in the air above Crota and won't be able to be broken by his ground pound attack. I'll keep y'all posted on that third hidden chest that no one has been able to find, and if you have any additional tips you want to share, feel free to do so down in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on stream.